So Steve Morgan here with a bit of an update. We've had a pretty busy Christmas time getting all the ABT sponsors, entries, everything, all those ducks in a row. And you would have noticed that the entry lists are up now, and a majority of those entries are in great fields for the Victorian road trip. And then because we're coming all the way down from Queensland, we've got to be really organised and have Victoria and Tasmania all packed all at once. So I thought it's time to start doing some tackle. Might want to take you through some of the things that have turned up over Christmas time, because it's all about the preparation. We've got 4 events in Victoria and then another 5 in Tasmania. So prepping for 9 events and got to fit them all in the little car. We're not taking the van down. But some things that have turned up. Firstly, here from new ABT sponsor Baran Detonators. The Detonators, he released these at the after trade show last year, and I've got some of the smaller detonators here. Now they're a crankbait, and I'll show you the profile of them because they're actually quite interesting. They're not a cylindrical round crankbait, they're more of a flat-sided crank, and they have that little chin weight system in them. So when you open up the box, you get a little spare one of, Matt calls them the chin nuts. There's some bigger versions of the chin nuts there. You get them in all sorts of different weights. You can suspend them under the chin of the lure, and it will turn a floating lure into a suspending or a sinking lure. But you can see they're quite narrow and quite deep, so sort of more a bony brim profile. But I took them out last night in the river. They did pretty well. The brim like eating them, and I think in deep crankbaiting situations, crankbaiting deep flats, bridges, all sorts of structure, these are going to be awesome. So I'm going to take them down and give them a bit of a crack on Gippy Lakes, maybe at Cooter, and maybe in Tassie. So those ones are getting packed. Something I've got onto recently, if you follow social media a lot, Sixth Sense is a big brand in the US, and they bring out a lot of largemouth style baits, but there's some really small ones here that I reckon might be really cool for brim and bass. These are called their panoramas. They make bigger ones that the live scope community use a lot to mimic that dying shad, dying baitfish colour. But how good might these be for brim? I'm going to try some of those out and come back to you with some of the results. Or in fact, these for bass. Whenever I have a bony brim dive in Hinds or one of the local lakes, they're always about this big in these colours. They're a really thin bait. I'll just show you the bait. I'll pull one open here. And I don't think you can get these at any tackle shop in Australia. I think the guys at Taco Tackle down in Victoria are the ones that have them in. They're a really soft bait, so if you can see sort of how soft they are, hold the water really well. You can fish them a lot of different ways. You can worm hook rig them, drop shot them, wacky rig them, any sort of way that looks like a little bait fish sinking to the bottom. They might be really cool. So I've got a pack of them that might go in as well. I'll stuff them in, give them a shot on those Victorian bass lakes. This is always a bargain. James from Hunter Water Sports sorted us out with one of these. We've got a couple of the Hobie Lynx kayaks we're going to take down to Tasmania and fish the 2 kayak events before the ABT events. I only had one live well, so I picked up one of the old ex-Australian Championship live wells. But he takes a lot of their old craft, always used for a couple of days. Got a full warranty with it. He ships it straight to your door. So going to have to find a way of fitting a couple of live wells for the kayaks in with the rig as well. But that's some of the shopping we've been doing. Might be a sort of a semi-regular thing on a Friday afternoon, what turns up at the Fishing Monthly and ABT offices. I know that in the room out the side there, we have got a pile of products turning up for all of the prizes next year. By the end of next week, we'll be having our packing jamboree and pack up like 100 bags of all of the prizes we give out for the year. But from my tackle room, that's an update. I'll catch you next week.